Hi, I'm Andy. I'm the creator of this game, Fun Zone Omega. I'm going to show off a little bit of the gameplay and talk through some of the features. So let's start a new game. Let's skip the intro here. You can read that on your own. Here we are on the character select screen. So we could choose our party or do an entirely random party, but why would we ever do that? Let's choose our people. So each of these characters you see on the raft is a character we can recruit. There's 12 of them. We're going to choose 4. Let's look at this person here. They're a Twinkie Barbarian, and their field skill, which is a passive skill that you use outside of battle, is radioactive. They heal RP, which is like MP in other games. After battle, you can periodically recover some. They also have a healing ability. That's pretty useful, so let's grab them. Okay, let's pull in Echo. They're cool. They're a bird ninja, but they're great because they have the field skill Flyer, which if we get really far from a campsite, which is a place where you can save your game and recover, you can warp right back, which makes traversing the world pretty easy. So let's pull them in too. Okay, let's look at Axel. This is like a mole guy. The cool thing about him is that he has the burrower field skill, which lets us dig little tunnels between campsites, which lets us fast travel around, and is pretty awesome. So let's pull this guy in. Okay, who do we have left? Queen, maybe? Let's see. No, she's a burrower. We already have somebody that does that, so let's skip them. Okay, let's pull in Zio. Zio has the Forager skill, which lets us recover HP after battle. Also, they have an attack that hits all enemies. That's useful, so let's pull them in. Are we happy? Yes. Here we are. Our raft has crashed. All the other people we didn't choose are unfortunately dead, but the 4 we did choose wind up on the island. This is the Prophet. They're the psychic worm, and they kind of tell us tutorial stuff. So we'll see little text boxes from them pop up. Sure, let's save the game. So go to a campsite where we can restore our HP and RP. There's one right up there, but first let's open this crate. We find a slot bracelet. There's gear inside crates. Randomly, gear might have super powerful items called relics, which are really good. Characters with a scavenger skill and slightly increase the chance to get those. We don't have anybody with the scavenger skill, unfortunately, but that's okay. So we picked up an item. Let's equip it on somebody. You notice it has a feature called Tough, which increases our maximum HP. Every piece of equipment in this game has some feature. Some let you attack first in combat always. Some let you ignore debuffs, etc. We'll see a lot more as this goes on. Let's equip it on... Sure, Smasher. Okay, let's find this campsite. If we die, we will start back here after losing all the progress we've made since. We recover, we can save. There's also this thing here, which appears because we have a burrower. This lets us tunnel between different campsites. Currently, we've only found this campsite, so there's nowhere for that tunnel to go to, but later it'll turn in to be quite handy. Here's random things on the ground. Anything that you can interact with opens up a little text box with descriptions from your character. What's cool is that every character in your party has a different response. So Axel has something to say, Echo has something to say, and everything is sort of like this. So we look at the dead body of the Prophet who saved us all and brought us to the island, and we can see everybody's comments. Enough of that. Let's go get some more equipment. So here's a mood ring. This increases defense, and it provides immunity to debuff type attacks. Looks like Axel has a low defense. Let's shore that up by giving them some improved equipment. Here's Buddy. These are little tour guide bots that are all over the island, and they tell you about the area you're in. And also,
Each new area, if you talk to the buddy, you'll get experience points for finding a new area.
Okay, so we can wander all over the island here. These signs indicate how dangerous the enemies are. So here we are. We are in an area where the enemy danger is 1. So the enemies here are not going to be that hard. Let's attack. Let's do an extra damage attack. We could debuff them all, but let's save the MP. And let's do an attack all enemies attack. So we have Smasher. They have that radioactive field skill, so we recover some RP after battle. If you think the combat's too slow, there is an option to speed it up in the options. Okay, let's explore. So here we are wandering around the island. The Prophet's warning us to not get killed, and if we were running low on resources, use the flyer skill to fly back to campsite. We don't need to do that yet. Here's some fish skeletons. Okay, cool. This is great. Here's an anomaly. So when you interact with these, random stuff happens. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. Mostly it's good. You can get permanent stat boosts from doing it, so you should always interact with these, even though sometimes they might do things like drain all your RP and kind of screw you over. But, you know, that's the danger of the island, I guess. In this case, it gives us something good. It gave us a bonus to attack permanently on one of these characters, so that's definitely worth doing. Okay, more enemies. With these groups of only 3 enemies, those are easy. We don't need to worry about debuffing them. But a stun attack is quite annoying. Everybody leveled up. Yay! And we recovered some HP after this battle because Zio has the Forager skill. So they're warning us that the initiative order in battle is completely random, and that's true. The only thing that can change it is some gear you can equip has this effect called Speedy, which makes attacks prioritize. So if that matters to you, look out for that. Here we are exploring the area, getting some more XP. Yep, there's traps on the chests. We don't have a character with a raider skill, so those are going to hit us and annoy us every time. But if you don't like that, get a raider in your party. Cool. Over here is a locked chest. These are sealed up, and we need a key code to open them, which are hidden around the world. In our case, we don't have one. If we had a raider, they could just pop it open, but we don't. So here's a new piece of equipment. This allows us to evade and counterattack. It gives us a chance to do that. These stack up, so if we got a few of these, we could equip them and then have a much better chance to evade and counterattack, which is cool. Everybody's kind of looking bad on hit points, especially because of that trap, so let's heal up. Okay, looking at some broken bottles. Having an amusing moment.
Greetings.
Oh, Axel. Okay, more gear, slingshot. Here's an ATM. We can bust that open to get some money. Money gets spent at vending machines, but we don't. There's not one of those in this area quite yet. We'll find one later, maybe. Okay, so why don't we equip 2 baseball mitts on this person so they have a better chance to evade and counterattack. Let's equip something on this character so that they get a little bonus, and that's a 5% chance to critical hit. Cool. Okay, here's a map kiosk. This lets us open up the map. So if we go to the main menu, we open the map, you see we've unlocked a little segment of it. We need to find a lot more of these to unlock additional segments.
Greetings.
Talk to our friend Buddy. Smasher eating some slime. Okay. There's more guys here, so let's hit them with a debuff. Critical hit, so that 5% critical chance is already paying off. You see their damage is significantly reduced with the debuff, which is nice. Counterattack. That 10% counter chance is paying off too. Okay. Journey onward. They're warning us about how awful debuffs and status effects are, and they're right. They're pretty bad. Footprints. I wonder if it could lead up to that big bird up there. Probably. We'll deal with that later. Everybody's leveling up. Okay. This would warp us back to the campsite. That would be very useful if we didn't have a flyer, which will let us fly back on our own eventually anyway. But if you didn't have a flyer, you would definitely rely on those. So here we are. We're in an area that has a number 2 sign here. So what's that a warning? That warns us that the enemies here are harder than they were in the last area. So we should be cautious here. We could eat some ice cream if we want to recover. Why wouldn't we? Okay, cool. Jello monsters. Let's fight them. I don't know how hard these are going to be because they're stronger, so let's debuff them. Okay, so yeah, that could be potentially nasty that they could hit all of us if we hadn't, in fact, debuffed them. And already it's still kind of nasty. Okay, let's finish this fight up. Somebody died. That's not great. Okay, dead characters come back after the battle, but you probably need to recover them, which we're going to do. But actually, let's warp back to the campsite. So here we are, back where we started, and we saved, we recovered. Now, let's go fight that bird that I bypassed earlier. RP doesn't increase when you level. It only increases via items. So you notice everybody has 10 RP, and that can go pretty fast. You gotta conserve it. This character has 13 because they have a item that increases the max. So those are nice to collect. I want to conserve RP here because we might need it to kill this guy we're going to go fight who's tough. Maybe I didn't need to because we're recovering it. Okay. It's warning us this is a boss, so we should do what? We should heal? Probably. Do we got any extra stuff to equip? Yeah, we do. Let's boost up this guy's. Well, we don't want to equip 2 mood rings on this person because they're already immune to debuffs, so it doesn't help. Okay, this guy might utterly destroy us. Let's find out. Okay, so we want to definitely debuff everybody. We definitely want to attack all the enemies. Nice. Okay, they have an attack which potentially disables our skills, and that can kind of be a problem. So we have a rest which will undo status effects. So we want to do that on the character that will heal at the very least. Okay, somebody's down. That's bad. Let's use a curing attack. It would really be nice if the person who died wasn't the person that would let us debuff this character, but we might still get lucky. Okay, that disables skill attack's kind of nasty. What would really benefit us is there are some items we could equip that prevent status effects. If I had stacked up a few of those, we'd be sitting pretty right now for sure. I'm gonna rest here. It will recover some HP too. No! Smasher has an item equipped that heals them slightly after each turn, which is convenient in the long run, but it's not helping us here very much. But we're slowly getting through this guy's health. We've got a chance. Nice. Whew. Okay, so this up here is really cool. If we interact with this here, it will give us a chance to get new skills. This one's called Secretion. It will heal somebody 100% and give them a regeneration field for a turn or 3 turns. So who would be a good person? Smasher already has a healing ability. Let's put it on Zio. So Zio now has a brand new skill. Killing bosses in this game will always give you access to one of those. So we see Zio's new skill. That's one way to get new skills in this game. You also get them periodically as you level. So the next group of skills we get was at level 10, or if we beat another boss. Okay, that's the game. There's plenty more, lots more bosses, lots more areas, but this should give you a good sense of what goes on.